a forgotten racetrack, a beloved race car, and a fantastic iRacing league. You are here live on V-Speed for the QSR Simulations Week 6 of their Xfinity series. I'm Morgan Cook here alongside Alex Gagnon, and we are live on V-Speed. Should be a fantastic race at the track they call Kentucky. Now, I have raced here before in the truck series, and it's grueling, it's bumpy, it's difficult, and it cannot be a lot of fun if you're mired back in traffic. A lot of fun as the leader. Alex, what do you think about this 1.5-mile racetrack?
Yeah, Kentucky, while it is one of the more recent tracks that have been opened across North America, it is certainly one of the more challenging mile-and-a-halfs that you'll find. Those bumps that you mentioned, especially in the corners, can really throw off the balance of your car if you're really trying to force it in there. You clip one of those bumps, you go launching up the track. 17-degree banking in the corners, 5 degrees down the back straightaway. Decent bit of speed you can carry through this place, and the corners here are fairly wide. You can really spread out and run a lot of different lanes here. Great for managing your tires over a long run. It gives you a lot of options, but also with just the way this place is laid out, sometimes you pick the right lane and sometimes you very much pick the wrong one.
Yeah, this track has very shallow, wide corners. It's one of the more interesting layouts on the schedule, and we'll have a look at it in full effect tonight. But what we're going to see tonight are 92 laps around this 1.5-mile racetrack. Pit road speed, 45 miles an hour. 4 sets of tires available. They're probably going to use one of them, maybe 2 of them. This is not long enough, I don't think, to use all 4. Hopefully not for these drivers. 2 green, white checker attempts, as always. 100% fuel in the iRacing fixed setup. Let's have a quick look at your point standing so far this season after 5 races. Daniel Mulnix is the points leader, and he's starting to pull away from Dirk Likes, both with 1 win. Derek McMurtry is 3rd. Ronnie Joyner, Team V-Speed, is in 5th. Brent Allen, Quentin Stewart, Mike Petrin, CJ Gates, and Jared Ziegler are your top 10.
Yeah, you got a really good battle there going. Just in that back top 5 to 10 group right now, actually you can really push up to 3rd. I mean, between McMurtry all the way down to Quentin Stewart and Mike Petrin, only about 20 points or so. A lot of points still up for grab this early in the season.
Yeah, and this will be a pivotal race as we are closing in on the halfway point of the season. If you're not up on the left side of the page, you better get there pretty soon because you're running out of time.
Not they are, but, if you're Wisnowski or Ruckriegel, you're only a couple points away. Opportunity to try and jump in there tonight. Only a few points out. Kentucky could be that make-or-break point to move you over to the left side of the point standings here.
And with that being said, we're going to get down to our grid, trackside. There it is up on your screen. Pole sitter, Galen Wunsch in the 199, 30.1. He lapped this track in. That's a pretty impressive lap time. Beside him, 57, Jared Ziegler, been great on mile and a half so far this year. 3rd place, Kevin West, right beside Daniel Mulnix, the points leader. These drivers less than half a tenth off of the pole time. This field is on top of each other. Starting 5th tonight, Caleb Nelson in the 07. Trenton Wilkin alongside, that is row number 3. Row 4, Ronnie Joyner, also been great on mile and a half. So got a couple runner-up finishes, if I'm not mistaken. Beside him is Vernon Markheim, sorry for that, in 8th in the 33. 9th to be Derek McMurtry. 10th, Austin Dowdy.
Yeah, back there in 11th, it's Ethan Wisnowski alongside the 5 of Bradley Cooper there in row 6. Row 7, the 24, Quentin Stewart, the 14 of Brent Allen. Row 8, Mike Petrin in the 60, CJ Gates in the 13.
That's Petrin. He likes when you call him Petrin.
Petrin, gotcha, alrighty. Well, I will make that change in my notes here as we get back to row 9, Austin Thomas and Spencer Johnson. And then Dirk Lights in the 3, going to have to try and rally his way up from the back of the field tonight alongside the 54, Frank Walsh.
And then your last row tonight, Joseph Terciano, Stephen McGough. That is 21st and 22nd. And that will round out your field tonight. My mistake, we have 2 more rows. They're all crossed up here. Clay Nelson is going to start 23rd tonight. Marshall Newton, 24th in the 76. And Peter Hopp in the 25 will start 25th, the last car on the grid. Here we can see the field just rolling off a pit road here. There's your pole sitter. Lights are out on the pace truck, so once all the drivers get on the racetrack and we get back around, we will be green. You excited, Alex?
100%. First time I've had the opportunity this season to do some stuff with QSR. Got the luxury to see some of these guys do battle at the end of last year. But first time watching them do the battle in the QSR Xfinity series. This should be a lot of fun. These Xfinity cars are such a blast to drive, really racy against each other, and I think Kentucky's going to be a really good opportunity for them to go out there and make it happen. Curious to see if the strategy for everyone early on is going to be to really go for it and get that track position on the restart, or if they're expecting one of those longer green flag runs, save a little bit your tires and then pick them off once the laps start ticking away.
I expect this to be a tire-saving fest. This is a great car to do it. This is a great track to do it. We're going to find out. Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. There they are, way back at turn 4. Long roll into the restart zone here. And we are green for race number 6 of the season. Great start by CJ Gates.
Yeah, Gates immediately went up high there to try and make some progress in the turn 1.
They're 3 wide, a little further back in this field. Already on top of each other. Gates is part of it. It's like they're sorting this out a little bit. As Wunsch looks like he's going to go out there and lead the first lap. West right behind him, sorry. Ziegler is going to lose a spot. Side by side back here for the 4th position. '07 dives it in there. That car will stick on the bottom right on that grip strip, but if you miss it by a foot, you're in trouble. You'll be sliding up into that car on the outside, and been there, done that.
Yeah, bit of a rite of passage at Kentucky. Get a little too low, slide up the track. Hopefully not wipe out your neighbor, but has definitely happened here before countless times on iRacing. Nelson able to get it done for the moment. Molnick's, though, going to look back to the inside. Going to try and take that spot away from the '07. They'll be door-to-door through 1 and 2.
We were creeping into 3 wide territory there for a second, but the 12 wisely backed out of it. We're just rolling right now. 3 laps in, out of 92. Long ways to go in this race. You can probably one-stop it, if I'm not mistaken, about 45, 48 on fuel, that sort of area. But when you pit will be very important, as this battle has single-filed out.
Yeah, Molnick's got the edge there for the time being, but looking a little farther on back, we've got a good battle going here off the, you can see from the front hood of McMurtry here. A little side-by-side action as the 3 at Dirk Likes making his way through the field in rapid time.
Already
started back
passed
in 19th, up 10 positions.
cars. That's crazy.
Oh, and the caution's out. Someone's around.
Let's go find them. Is it Mr. Mike Petrin by chance, who is about 16 seconds behind the leader? Let's go have a look, see if we can find what happened to the 60.
It looks like he's already way far off the pace there. I don't know.
There is damage on that
60
machine,
or
it
not.
looks like.
Yeah, there is some heavy rear damage to the 60 there of Petrin.
Maybe it wasn't the 60. Let's see. Maybe the 15 of Wisnowski, possibly.
A lot of side-by-side action here as they made their way through 1 and 2. Did somebody wash up the track is what I'm wondering.
Oh, yes, there it is.
Oh.
15 and 29. Oh, and then 15 got clipped, hit Frank Walsh.
Walsh immediately lost the entire front of that car as he got clipped by the 15 of Wisnowski.
Yeah, that is bad news. That's not what you want. Although it came back. The case of the returning nose piece.
That is my favorite mystery on this application we call iRacing. The ability to lose part of your car and then just magically it reappears without doing anything.
It's pretty neat. Pretty neat, but who's quite
Could you
enjoying.
imagine if they
Go ahead.
started doing that in real life? You know, you're driving down the highway, get into a fender bender, and things just patch themselves up. People start flying down there like one, or who knows? I was about to say like 130, and then I realized that's not too insane of a speed for you being up there measuring it in kilometers.
Well, that would still be a ticket, probably a car impound, but just barely up here in the Canadian units and the metric system, kilometers and all that. But yeah, in your freedom units down there, 130 is a lot of them.
Yeah, that is what we would call most of the speedometer, which in most cars you probably shouldn't be doing. But
Yeah, the minivan's not made to go that fast. The speedometer just looks better that way.
well, you know, mom needs to get her morning coffee in a hurry.
Oh man.
But
So
looks like
29
the
on pit road here due to that incident. Petrin also on pit road. Let's see, he got some right rear damage. Not sure where it came from. Maybe a little bit into that wall, but it's fixed. Look, it just fixed itself. How convenient.
magical.
Ethan
Looks
Wisnowski
like
looks
he'll
like he's
be-
back on the racetrack.
Yeah, the 15 and the 60 both rolling again. I'd imagine the 29 would be as well, but maybe there's more damage there than it looked like from the initial look. I didn't think I mean, it looked like he got some serious damage, but you know, maybe there was some internal stuff and not just scraping up the sheet metal.
Then the other driver involved was Frank Walsh, but that car looks perfect. So I'm not sure if that was just a case of netcode giveth, netcode taketh away. But that 54 red hot machine is still rolling in the right direction and not a scratch on it.
Yeah, and he'll rejoin the group here. Pace car lights are off, which means next time by, we're going to be trying to get back going here at Kentucky. Looked like Wunsch had the early advantage up front. He was able to take the lead off the restart and didn't really face a ton of pressure behind. Curious to see if he gets as good of a launch this time around.
And that's historically the inside here at Kentucky can really launch on that early start. The top, really the middle, you don't run all the way to the wall here. The middle kind of comes in later in the run. But we'll see if West in that one machine is able to make something happen and roll the top side into turn number 1. We'll find out. Pace,
That we will in just a second. I mean,
Pace
they're
cars
all
making that.
stacked up. They're ready to go.
making that turn. We are coming out of 4. Rolling into the zone. Early launch for the 199, and we are off. Decent jump for the 199, but West and Ziegler are fighting for second. And I think the 199's happy with that little lead that he's got right now, just going to manage that gap. As Molnix has not been able to get around the 12 of Wilkin. He's tried pretty much every lap this race. Might have a bit of a crossover move here, we'll see.
Yeah, Wilkin will take that spot away. He made a little bit of an ambitious over-under coming off of 4. Was able to make it work here. Now has his eyes set on Ziegler up ahead, but you know, still too early to count out the 2 of Daniel Molnix. He's as high up in the points as he is for a reason. As he looks back to the inside here. Little side-by-side action once again. The 12
banging.
and the 2, and they door each other.
Oh, they're beating and banging on the front stretch. 12 got loose out of the corner. 2 got into his door, said, I want that spot back. Thank you very much. And he might just force the move here. He moved him out of the way
More
again.
contact.
Oh, my goodness. We are racing for 4th place right now.
You'd think there'd be 10 to go, not only 10 laps down here at Kentucky, the way that Wilkin and Molnix are bouncing off each other around this track. Guess a mile and a half, not enough space for the 2 of them to get along here, trying to figure out 4th place. The 12 now on the back bumper of the 57. He's going to look to the inside of him as well.
He's going to make that late dive, and right there is where you just about make contact, or sometimes you do make contact. Get that car a little bit loose in front of you. And that's the gap back from 3rd to 4th as the 12 really rolls the entry with a lot of speed on the top side. And he's going to have a charge down the front stretch. Going to cross him over. They're going to be almost 3 wide down the front stretch.
That 12 machine is cooking right now. He is looking to try and jump into one of those podium spots. It's a little tough, though. He gets into 1 and 2. The 57 pinches him down, and the number 1 machine of West, he's so close to him through the corner that you can't even accelerate on that low side. You're just kind of boxed in, and that's where the 12 remains, although he's not been afraid to lead on people tonight.
And we might be into the 8 turns better than 4. I think Quinn Stewart's got an issue here. That 24 is around. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to our series admin. Someone call him the CEO. Here's rolling out at 2, about to be 3 wide. I don't know if he realizes there's a car down there. Is that Terciano? I think it is Terciano. Oh, he gave a lot of room to Terciano. And, oh, Walsh just about got caught up in another one. Oh, man.
Would have been a really tough start for the night for the 54.
How did he miss that?
2 in a row.
Let's roll on board with that 54. Yeah, that was close.
On board there. That's when you just pucker up a little bit and hope there's no contact. That Red Hot machine's seeing a whole lot of action tonight in the early going. You can see this just off the hood of the 54. The 24 sideways, and ooh, man, did he just barely clear him on the inside.
I think they call that a Code Brown for that Red Hot machine, which he's probably used to if he's eating a lot of Frank's Red Hot, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's you can just tell if he's got a human spotter. That's just when they go low, 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 low. Just spamming it. But looks like everyone's going to be coming down pit road here on lap 14. Prime opportunity, new tires and fuel. Kentucky is a little bit of a cheese grater, especially when you have a lot of restarts and you're really pushing for track position.
You say everybody, I say everybody but the top 3. Ziegler is going to be Ziegler is the first. Oh, it looks like it's going to be the 10 off pit road here. Clay Nelson with a fuel-only stop. It looks like Kevin West will be the first off pit road with 4 tires. Looks like Bradley Cooper going to move up to 7th on 2 tires. And then the top 3 on no tires.
Interested to see. I mean, they've run it hasn't been a ton of green flag laps, but it's enough for those who came in and got 4 tires. You're going to notice.
Yeah, this will tell you how much tires are worth right here. We'll have a really good idea.
It's a big learning experience for the whole field here, both those who didn't take tires and those who did. And I think there's going to be a lot of information that is gleaned for if this situation comes up with 15 to go, whether or not you need to take tires.
Let's do a quick run through your field after 14 laps, working lap 15. Your leader is Galen Wunsch in the 199. He started on pole, has led most of the laps, 13 of them in fact, and he is still out front. Daniel Mulnix is right behind him in 2nd. Austin Thomas is 3rd. Clay Nelson up 19 positions, is after that pit stop is in 4th. Kevin West is 5th. Brendan Wilkins 6th. Bradley Cooper on 2 tires is 7th. Jared Ziegler is 8th. Nelson 9th. And Ronnie Joyner is down 3 to position number 10.
Go a little farther back in the field here. You got CJ Gates running 11th. Brent Allen back there in 12th. He's moved up a couple of spots. Derek McMurtry's fallen back a few. Hops up a good chunk here, up 11 from starting 25th. Then you got Likes back there in 15th, who's up a few spots as well. He was on a warpath to the front in that opening run. I'm curious to see if he got fresh tires and he's going to try and do the same here. Then you got Newton back in 16th. Austin Dowdy back in 17th. Terciano in 18th, just ahead of the 26 of Mago. 20th, the 60 of Mike Petrin, who's already had quite the evening so far.
And the rest of your field is Quentin Stewart, 21st. Frank Walsh is 22nd. Wisnowski, 23rd. Off the track, 2 down is Markheim, and Spencer Johnson is 5 down in the 29. We are just now rolling 2-1 to go. That was a quick through-year field. Imagine pace lights will be out here this time. They sure are. Out to be giver beans time, as they say. Well, I don't know if they say it. I say it. But
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna say anything on your spot there, but I was like, I don't know if I've heard that before.
yeah, well, these things happen. You know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, we'll see if Wunsch can get out to another great start. He's been about 2 car lengths in front of the field by turn 1 each of the last 2 restarts, but Daniel Mulnix, this is the highest he has been in this race, and we know that he is bad fast on 1.5 miles. Quick recap so far: 2 lead changes, and the 199 has led every lap from the pole, so no lead changes in this race, 2 cautions. And a quick weather recap. It's cold, 66.
It's a chilly night in Kentucky.
In the air, 67 on the ground. A lot of grip in this car. Tires are still going to be important.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I think we'll see how important they are in just a second here. You see the one of West about 3 spots back on that inside lane. He is the first car, I believe, on 4 fresh tires compared to those ahead of him. We'll see how much ground he makes up here, the Wunsch, on this restart. And we'll see how critical it is to have tires that are about 15 laps fresher as the pace car peels off.
Rolling off of turn 4 into the restart zone. Here we go. Side by side for the lead. This is the best jump the outside's got all night. And Mulnix is going to edge ahead off of turn number 2. He might even clear into 3.
Oh, it's so close. Oh, and the caution's out again. I think Walsh and Terciano off the pace.
A
little bit of yellow fever going on out here in Kentucky tonight.
Nothing good ever happened when you had yellow fever.
Oh, that 54's dreams tonight might be going up in smoke there. There's a lot of smoke coming out of the engine block there at Walsh.
Let's have a look at the 54. I feel like he got caught up in something else that may not have been his doing. As you can see, the 83, 2 cars in front of him on the restart. We didn't even get through turns 2 before we had an accident. 54's hanging back a little bit on the start. Just not. Oh, there we go. Already.
Whoa! Terciano got stuck 3 wide, got doored, loses control, and as he comes back down the track, I mean, nowhere for the 54 of Walsh to go, which, if that doesn't describe the way his night's been going so far, I don't know what is.
He is a 3 for 3 is what I would say that 54 is, or 0 for 3, however you want to look at it. But Petrin gets a good jump on the 83 and kind of puts him in a weird spot. Doesn't realize it's a car to the inside and the outside, and also doesn't run the wall. 83 comes back down the track, obviously in front of the 54, and that's a blown engine.
The 29 somehow did not make contact with either of them. Do we have the time for an onboard with him? Somehow he split the defense there.
Let's give it a try here. Like we're still pacing. This is Spencer Johnson in the 29. See him wrecking in front of him. Wow. No contact.
You were talking about Code Brown for Walsh there with the Quentin Stewart incident a couple laps ago. That's got to be another level up there for Spencer Johnson. I mean, he somehow watched those 2 cars collide directly in front of him, and he was able to split the 2 and come out completely unscathed.
And he gets a lap back because he didn't have any contact.
Even better. So ultimately, I think the big winner of that whole exchange, both Spencer Johnson and the 2 of Daniel Mulnix, who pulled ahead when the caution came out, he's now going to be your leader. He's led a couple laps all under yellow so far, but he'll get the restart on the inside, and looks like those on fresh tires are going to have to wait a couple more laps to try and take advantage of it.
At lead change equals 1. Mulnix takes it over from Wunsch, but Kevin West was able to gain 2 spots on that restart. He went from, I believe it was 6th up to 4th. So he, on those fresh tires, which are 14 laps newer than the 3 in front of him, he's got a pretty good chance if this thing goes green. But we have not seen that to be the case so far tonight.
That we have not. It's been a very choppy opening bit to this race from Kentucky tonight. 3 cautions in the opening 20 laps. And I think everyone, because of how cold the track is, maybe just a little bit uncomfortable with how their cars are going to handle getting into the corners. It's causing people to make moves they might not normally make, and it's led to calamity for a couple of them.
And not only is it a little bit edgy, probably because you're going so fast, but I think everyone's got a lot more grip than they realize, and they have a little bit of what I call Superman syndrome, when they just wheel it down into the corner and hope for the best, hope it sticks, and that doesn't always happen on cold tires on a cold racetrack. So we'll see if they can rein it back in, dial it in a little bit, or if we'll continue to have this sort of pace for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see how this balances out. I believe we will be getting back to racing at lap 22, I want to say. But lights still on the pace, or still on the pace car, but I imagine they'll be turned off this time around as the field's starting to get kind of stacked up where they're supposed to be. The 12 of Wilkin, that one early stint that we had, did a great job working through some pretty fast cars to get himself in contention, and now has fallen back a little bit. He was one of the cars who came down pit road. Although I think if there's anyone who's going to be able to capitalize on these quick restarts in succession, it might be the 12, just because of how well he ran those opening couple ones.
The thing that makes me laugh about the 12 is he has PNC Bank on that car. PNC Bank is known for being a boring bank, and he's been anything but boring tonight. It's just funny how these ironic, sort of liveries and schemes pan out. So it's just something humorous here, but I'm looking forward to another restart here. This should be restart number 4 of the night, I believe. And we'll see if Wunsch can hang on and hang with the 2 of Molnex, who going to be the first time somebody besides the 199 controls a restart.
Yeah, and we know that the 2 is so fast, and he hasn't had to burn up a whole lot of his stuff yet with the amount of consistent cautions and restarts. So even those on fresher tires like West and Wilkin behind them, he might have some opportunities to really stretch out this lead a little bit if they're all trying to fight through Thomas and Wunsch. So curious to see if the 2 can keep it up front here in just a moment. Lights out on the pace car. They're making their way through 3 and 4, and we're going to be jumping back to racing here in QSR in just a moment.
Green flag in hand. Anticipation throughout the field. The 2 car is going to roll into the restart zone. We are live again. Oh, he timed that restart really well. Wunsch was rolling to him and did not allow the 199 to get that good jump. Froze him a little bit, and now battle is for second.
Yeah, I'll say that opened up the door for Thomas on the inside. He's going to roll right around the 199, maybe a bit of a slide job even.
How about West?
Did not give him a whole lot of room. Oh boy, the fresh tires might be making a statement here. Half a lap, he's already up from 4th, looking for 2nd now to the inside of Thomas, and he might be able to take him here on the front stretch.
Give the spot to the one over the line. They're going to dive it into turn number 1 here. They're going to pinch really hard down on the bottom to try and keep that 1 down there on the fresh tires. The 12 is going to follow him through. Put West to 2nd, put the 12 to 3rd, and Wunsch has fallen back from the outside. He is now running in the 5th position, farthest back he's been all night.
It's about to get a whole lot worse too. He's got a lot of company on his back bumper. There are multiple cars trying to take that spot away. Nelson, Cooper, and Jared Ziegler, who we're on board with here. You see Nelson take a lunge to the inside. Gonna slide up the track a little bit here, caught a bit of that apron. And up front, Daniel Molnix, he has got company. Here comes West and Wilkin to his back bumper as they go into 3.
Where they all fan out. You don't usually see that top lane rolling here at Kentucky, but that 12 is using it. Great run off the corner. Use a little slipstream. We're going to see them fan out again into turn number 1.
Oh, West might have a run here. He got a really good entrance in the 1. He's got a nose to the outside of the 2 here off the corner. Battle for the lead on the backstretch. West up high, Molnick's down low. Wilkin waiting in the wings, just on behind them.
It's like the one is going to get him off the corner with the momentum. New leader, Kevin West. Here comes Wilkin on the top, and they're door banging again.
The 12 of Wilkin just... man.
He moved him out of the way.
Two washed up the track and just moved them out of the way. Molnick's going to hold on to second. 12 of Wilkin going to fall back to third. Tell you what, Wilkin's not made a whole lot of friends out here tonight. He's not been afraid to bounce off the doors of anyone and everybody. And it's resulting in him having some really entertaining scraps throughout the field, but not making any friends, that's for sure. As we're looking a little farther on back, little cube action, 2x2 in the top 10. Thomas and Nelson in that front row. Then you've got Ziegler and Joyner back there just behind him.
Oh, they're dooring each other. That is Ziegler getting quite a bit loose underneath of Ronnie Joyner there. That was close, but they're 3 wide off of 4. I think Joyner just got both of them there.
That he did. Ronnie Joyner on the move. Highest he's run all night. Currently scored up in 6th. Now you can score it as 5th as he looks to the inside of Nelson, and he'll take that spot away. The 00 tuned in right now. Is back up front. West has not gotten that separation from those 2 lead cars that he's liked. Wilkin has gotten around the 2 of Molnick's on the older tires, and now it'll be Wilkin going to knock on the door of West looking for the lead.
I think this is the information that all these drivers wanted to see. How bad are 14-lap-old tires versus fresh tires? The answer is not that bad, because the 3rd and 4th place cars are able to stick right there within a few tenths. They're not falling off by seconds a lap, so this is a successful gamble, it looks like, and we'll see how the rest of this run plays out.
It's a successful gamble, I think, for some of them. You know, you look at the 23 of Thomas, who's fallen all the way back to 10th. Nelson, who got fuel but no tires, I don't believe. He's back to 14th, so, you know, it's worked out for a couple, but maybe not all of them. Is looking at this front stretch here, almost a little 3 wide. Nelson going to try and hold on to the door of the 83 as they make their way into turn 1.
Driver
easier said than done, but
is the 24.
Quentin Stewart on the move.
Yeah, he's on the rebound.
He's getting back nicely here.
Yeah, he obviously had that spin where he fell all the way back to 24th up to 16th. Working on Clay Nelson as Nelson goes all the way to the wall, almost into the wall. There's a lot of time here. Oh, they're 3 wide. Oh, no. Good save. Holy moly.
Petrin takes it all the way down to the apron to catch it. But he'll keep charging forward. I tell you what, the cars that have had trouble here tonight continue to find each other to make more trouble for one another.
Yeah, that Quentin Stewart machine, that was a 1 wheel movement away from being completely out of shape. Petrin the same way. But they soldier on. Oh, Petrin's at the wall.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that was a huge block from the 10 of Nelson. Took a lot of momentum off the 60. He had nowhere to go but up. Ended up in the fence and has fallen way off the pace here. Scored now back in 20th. He was rebounding pretty nicely, but now we're going to have to do a lot of work to rally back up as we're looking at this battle here just outside the top 10. You've got Thomas and Newton. Not to mention McMurtry on the inside.
And this is the wrong side of that that no tire call. Obviously, is Thomas, as he has fallen back to the 14th position from restarting 3rd. See how it shakes out for him. But this is what the drivers are looking at as, ooh, maybe this isn't the right call. But we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, we'll see here. The only thing that's really going to bite him is if this becomes a very long green flag run, and those who came down pit road at lap 14 only need to make 1 stop to the end, but those who stayed out would need to make 2. Not sure if they'd have to fuel-wise, but maybe tire-wise they could be thinking about it if it really starts to become a problem. As here comes the 3 of Dirk Likes back on the move. We saw him make up 10 spots in the opening going, came down pit road, lost some of that track position. It's a big move by the 3. Looking down below the 23 here, or sorry, the 13. Trying to get around CJ Gates. Like's going to try and take away that nice spot. He has been aggressive tonight, cutting through the field.
Here's Brent Allen watching from just behind them in the 13-14. Tisk, tisk, Mr. Allen. Got to have that car number matching what we see as he's currently scored at the 14 machine. He traded in the Auburn colors for gray and blue. He's chasing down Dirk Likes and CJ Gates. We'll see if he can make anything out of this run. He is in 11th right now, chasing the top 10.
Yeah, and he's within striking distance here. You can see the 13 at Gates, slow off of 4. Gonna roll right to the inside. Maybe gonna try and pick up the 3 as well. Might be 3 wide into turn 1. No room for error there. Contact between those two cars on the apron. That is a dangerous place to make collisions with each other.
Yeah, like
not a whole lot of room.
I am not moving for you. You're gonna have to go around me. And the 13-14 tried to go through him, and obviously didn't work well for the 13, as Dirk Likes is going to retain the 9th position. Keep moving forward.
Looking a little higher up in the field, that 199 of Wunsch, who led the opening about 15 laps or so tonight. He's on those older tires, trying to make it work. Hasn't had the best luck, falling back into the 8th spot now, but he hasn't lost a ton of ground. You see the 5 of Bradley Cooper there go by on the inside. The 199 of Wunsch holding pretty tough at the moment, but about every other lap or so he loses another position. He's in danger of tumbling out of the top 10 here in a couple of laps once this pack of 3 gets up to his back bumper.
And the 5 is the only car on 2 tires as well in this run, so we'll see how that shakes out for him. But I think dividends right now, balance will be different. It'll be quite a bit looser than the rest of this field, I would think, but Molnix is sliding back 1 spot to Caleb Nelson, who's on fresh tires, and this is where that 2-tire stop, or that no-tire stop, not pitting, is not helping the 2 right now.
Yeah, it's starting to show a little bit. He's been running pretty well, but he just does not have the raw speed at this point that he needs. Everyone else's tires, about 20-ish laps old. His been 39. And granted, a good bit of that's been under caution, but that still isn't going to balance him out. And you can start to see the damage being done, falling back to 5th. The only car in the top 5 at this point that are on, who did not come down pit road at lap 14. And he's got some pressure behind now from Ziegler as he's closing in. Cooper not too far behind them. Meanwhile, up front, our leader opens it up to over a second. West has checked out of Wilkin and Joyner's range, and Kevin West going to be cruising on ahead here.
And I think we're getting to a point where we're only maybe 20 laps away from what would be the pit stop to get you to the end, based on when all these guys pitted. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody short pits and tries to get those new tires and really stretch out a lead or gain a spot or whatever have you. But this is what the lead looks like, 1.2 seconds off the back of Kevin West.
Yeah, you can see he's really starting to open it up now. He's doing a really good job holding the steady wheel, just rolling that inside line. It doesn't seem like he's trying to force it or nothing. Just really smooth and stable right now for Kevin West. And it's paying off big time as that lead continues to grow. Meanwhile, just behind them, you got the 12 of Wilkin, who's had a good run tonight. But then back in 3rd, you've got the 00 of Ronnie Joyner, who I tell you what, he was back all the way in 10th at the time of the caution that brought out a lot of the pit stops. And he has drove his way into the top 3 now, looking at potentially a podium finish should this hold.
Yeah, the cream is rising to the top here, and Ronnie Joyner has shown to be very good at 1.5 miles this year. Running 2nd, I believe, twice. I could be mistaken on that, but I think he's been runner-up a few times here and been very fast in every 1.5 miles we've gone to. A little further back, Molnix is still fighting with Ziegler. The 3 cars who have not taken tires are Molnix in 5th, Galen Wunsch in 8th, about to be possibly 9th or so, and Austin Thomas in this Menards car is 20th. He's fallen quite a bit off the pace, and he is well behind the rest of the field at this moment.
Yeah, he's about a half a lap at this point behind leader Kevin West. So he might be hoping that green flag pit cycle kicks off sooner rather than later to keep him on the lead lap. But yeah, no, those who stayed out, Molnix has been able to make it work to a degree. Wunsch is hanging tough in the 9th spot, and then Thomas way back there. And we saw the 10 here, Nelson. I mean, he had done a decent job in the early going, keeping pace with him. He tried the fuel strategy on pit road to gain some track position, but that's starting to come back to bite him as well as we jump on board with the aid of Austin Dowdy.
Is what it looks like for him. Drives it down into turn number 3 and just slides the front end. You can see it's not turning. It's tight for him. Has to really feather it off the corner to make it rotate. He's going to lose a little bit of time to the 10.
Yeah, he's starting to lose the back bumper of him just a hair, but he's on fresher tires, so I'd imagine sooner rather than later he'll be able to work his way back on up there.
But good news.
Meanwhile,
the party's here.
Is it?
Yes. It says right over his shoulder, the party's here.
Ah, of course. I'll be honest, I saw that and said, well, I'll read that when I have a second, and then just didn't proceed to read it. So.
I made a second. You're welcome.
Thank you. That is much appreciated. I'm learning so much lore here tonight. Oh boy, look at this battle just inside the top 10. Gates, Likes, all of them, all thrown into a blanket here. You can include the 76 in that matter as well. Newton right in the picture. They're all on the back bumper of the 199. 2 wide, maybe almost 3 wide here if the 76 can get a good run in the turn 1.
Yeah, way wide was the 76. Looks like the 3 is going to get that spot from him, potentially, as we roll into turn number 1. But Gates got to the inside of Mr. Wench. We'll see if he can muscle him up out of the way off of turn 2. Not going to work this time. It's a great run on the top side for the 199.
Yeah, he's doing a good job on those older tires, trying to keep himself in the hunt here. Now you've got Gates hanging around in 10th, running the Robert Presley Scooby-Doo car that I have a 164 of and cherish dearly. I think that's an incredible paint scheme.
First taker
as
on
the
pit
3
road.
of Likes coming down pit road, going to kick off that pit cycle. Honestly, kind of surprised it wasn't one of the 3 who stayed out initially.
Well, if you need to pass cars, easy way to do it is while everyone is sitting still. Get those tires early and see if you can leapfrog some drivers. We are 1.5 seconds off the pace from what we're normally running here. So, Molnix just came down pit road, looks like. So
here comes the 2, and I'd imagine that the 199 and the 23 can't be too far behind them.
See what
the 199 breaking the draft. Or did he just get really loose coming off of 2?
I think that was a, hey, I'm going to turn left and go to pit road here. Watch out for me. This is going to follow Brent Allen in, as well as Bradley Cooper.
That pit cycle very much underway right now as we see some of those cars like Marciano trying to get back on track here, although Marciano 10 laps down. So at this point, he's just hoping for some misfortune for others to gain a couple spots on track here.
Yeah, Terciano has not had the greatest of evenings to this point, but
I definitely said Marciano. Didn't
you did,
I?
but we're just gonna move right on past that.
Yeah, it's Terciano. I've met someone whose last name is Marciano. I think that's why my brain defaulted to that. But Terciano 10 laps down and a bit of a hole here. He's got 6 laps to make up if he's going to try and find the 29 of Spencer Johnson.
Newton just came down pit road. We got a really good battle back here for 10th during the cycle. McMurtry's in it, Dowdy, Quinn Stewart, and Clay Nelson all running together. These drivers can go probably another 5 to 10 laps, I would think, on fuel. Then you better be hitting pit road, but you're going to lose a lot of time if you don't pit right now. Looks like the 8 and 24 said it's time.
Yeah, this is that point in the race where the pit cycle so far has already been spread out across 4 or 5 laps, and it's only gotten about half the field. So if this rate keeps up, you'll see the other half in the next 4 or 5 laps, and by that point, there'll be up to a 10-lap difference in tires between those who first came down pit road and those who stayed out till the very end of their stint. And that's going to create a lot of accordion effects, I think, between those who get the track position early versus those who get the speed late. And I think we'll see a lot of battling throughout the field because of it. Speaking of battling, look at these 2 guys, Wilkin and Joyner, nose to tail through 1 and 2. The 00 trying to take away that second spot.
It's going to chase him down into turn 3. See if he can make the move. He is going to lunge down there. Might be coming to pit road this time. I don't know. There's a pretty low entry, but no, he's going to flat up the racetrack and try and make a pass. Not quite going to make it happen. The 12 gets him back on the top side. Back in turn one.
Let's say the 12 nearly just tried clearing himself off the nose of the 00. Kept working his way further and further on down, trying to make sure he was clear. Didn't look like it at first, but was able to retake that spot. And now Joyner going to settle in half a car length behind, figuring out what he needs to do, get around the 12 of Wilkin. Gets right up to the back bumper, and now it looks like Wilkin coming down pit road.
That's a questionable place to say I'm making a pit stop. West is also on pit road, leaving Ronnie Joyner to be the last car of the leaders to pit. There's only 7 on the lead lap right now.
That number may continue to shrink as well if Joyner decides to try and extend this any longer than he has. As with West and Wilkin down pit road, it's going to probably drop it to 5. And does Joyner come down pit road this time around? No, he does not. So maybe at this point thinking the strategy of hoping for a caution, trying to trap some of the field a lap down.
And none of the top 5, who are the only cars on the lead lap, are pitting this time. You can see just how much those tires matter. As Wunsch just turns left and goes right by the 48 of McMurtry.
Same deal there for the 76 of Newton. I mean, he just drove past him.
And that's how much tires matter, because that was the leader, and he just got passed by most of the field. He's back to 11th.
So now he's back up to speed, almost 4 wide there on the front stretch for a second. Cooper on the inside of Ziegler and Molnick's here, 3 wide still into turn 1. The 5 backs out, it files down the 2x2. That was almost really dicey, but Daniel Molnick's not going to complain. He gets around all of them, and now looking to do so with Nelson as well.
It looks like Gates had a really late entry and chopped from the top all the way down to the bottom across this group, and that's what stacked everyone up. So gotta be pitting from the bottom, not from the top of the racetrack. That'll cause a caution almost every time. And lucky he had a skill group of drivers behind him, or else that would have been a huge melee, a 6 or 7 car accident. Ronnie Joyner finally hits pit road.
I mean, the 00 now coming down pit road, one of the last cars to do so outside of the 10 of Nelson and the 48 of McMurtry. I think the 26 of Mago, the 26 of Mago also now down pit road, so just those 2 remain out front. But yeah, that line that we were looking at from 5th on back, when this all cycles through, they're probably going to be all the cars in the top 5 except maybe the leader. And they were all running nose to tail there for a couple of laps. I mean, you know, Molnick's, Nelson, Ziegler, West, I mean, they're all so close to each other right now. Look at that absolute freight train of competitive cars right now. And here comes Ziegler looking to the inside of Molnick's.
He's just going to dive it down.
Launches himself in there.
Oh, that's a slide job. He didn't even make it to the corner yet. He just full throttled it in there, made it stick, and not going to sacrifice the exit either. That was just a classic good move by the 57. Was able to roll that momentum and take the spot and see if he can go chase down Clay Nelson in the 10.
I feel like conventionally that should have been a slide job in every sense of how we entered the corner, except there was no slide. He just put it down there and it stuck. So he just dove under the 2, made it work. Now here comes Kevin West to do the same. Gets right under the 2 of Molnick's. And now the 07 of Nelson looking to do the same thing. The 2 of Molnick's right now having a rough couple laps. He's got some cars on fresher tires, just absolutely rolling the inside on him right now.
The 10 just pit, leaving just Derek McMurtry in the 48, the only car to not hit pit road. And there he is right there, just entering pit road. That will give the lead.
So that was then
back
the
to
battle
Ziegler.
of the provisional lead. Ziegler got the lead officially now for the first time here tonight, but he might not be able to hold on to it for long, because here comes Kevin West right to his back bumper. That has got to be a large mirror full of teal and pink right now if you are the 57. Now is not in your mirror because he is alongside the window net.
And that was a really compromised entry the 57 took, and they're loose. They're just about dooring each other off the corner. I don't think the 57's too happy that the 1 still drove it in there that deep when the 57 is such a shallow entry, but they make it stick and they make it work, and they are battling for the lead.
Yeah, and they might end up using Wisnowski as a pick here. He's directly in front of the leaders, side by side across the line. Ziegler still has the edge for now, but he has not cleared the one west. Real close to each other in 1 and 2. The 15 going to move up and out of the way and let these two figure it out for the lead.
Classy.
Can't say I blame him. West going to try and close the door. He does. Here comes Ziegler back to the inside.
Top to bottom, elevator move, and it does not stick that time. 57 is going to slide the nose, and West will take back the lead. Going to lead his 30th lap of the night, it looks like. There it is right there. Just about led half this race, that one car has, and he's pulling away.
He's been really good ever since we've hit this longer green flag stint. Ziegler has fallen off in a big way. He's nearly out of drafting range here, now 7/10 back. Then you've got Wilkin, Nelson, and Molnick still your top 5. But that lead group that we saw running each other so closely just about 5 laps ago, they're all spread out over the course of 2 seconds now.
We got to the point, I think, where tires are mattering. The leader and third place, that's Wilkin, are on 9-lap-old tires. Ziegler and Nelson that's second and fourth, are on 12-lap-old tires. Molnick's on 15-lap-old tires. The 3 behind him, Allen, Cooper, Wunsch, all 14-lap-old tires. So this is where the different tire wears and how you drove the car will really start to impact you, is about that 12 to 15 lap of a run number.
Just under 30 laps to go here. Kevin West has got the lead. A lot of battling just behind him. Bradley Cooper going to dive in under around the lap traffic of Wisnowski. Going to try and get to the back bumper of Brett Allen here.
There is Mr. V-Speed himself. Trying to drive through this field. He is now on 4 tires, same as everyone else in the field. He was saying earlier in the show here, before we went on air, that this car was really tight after 12 laps. He was struggling with the handling a little bit. Looks like he's sorted it out to the tune of 7th position, as we may have a battle up there a little bit farther.
Oh, look at this. Nelson here, Ziegler gonna try and battle it out with the 12 of Wilkin. Wilkin, though, gonna get right around him. That 12 car, I feel like, has been really impressive here tonight. He has yet to lead a lap, but he continues to make his way through some of the fastest cars in the field, and once again has put himself in contention here. 7/10 and closing from leader Kevin West.
Yeah, West just caught lap traffic. That's not going to help the situation at all. But yeah, that 12 has been sneaky fast all night, and this is going to close in by about a 10th on this lap alone.
There's more lap traffic there. Spencer Johnson didn't let the 1 get all the way up to the wall. He's finally got some clear track in front of him here, but he lost a lot of time to the tune of nearly 2 seconds to Wilkin. And Wilkin now going to roll to the inside of Johnson, closing off another half a second. That 12 car is closing in on the mirror of the 1.
Let's see if we can ride on board and see maybe what this 12 is doing different than the 1. They're in the tire tracks right now, and it's looking like it is still closing with the draft down the front stretch, down to just over half a second. Loses a little bit on the entry, but gains a lot center off, which is what you want to do on a mile and a half. Had to feather it there, got tight. Gonna lose all that back on the backstretch.
And that's one of those things that are just so frustrating. This stint in the race, you know you're running out of time. You know that you could catch him if you just keep hitting your marks, and then the car locks up on you. You have to get out of the throttle, and you lose all that progress that you inched and clawed for multiple laps there. That got to be really frustrating. We'll see if the 12 can focus up and rally back. And speaking of rallying back, here comes the 00 of Joyner now. He's up into 4th and looking to try and get onto that final step of the podium if he can get around the 57 of Ziegler.
We got about 20 laps to go here, and he is rolling through the field. You can see him gaining quite a bit on Ziegler in the 57. It's down to just under 6/10 now. Might be 5/10 by the time they get out of the corner. This 00 is on a roll.
That he is. He is cruising right now. He'll probably get to the back bumper of the 57 the rate he's going, probably in a couple of laps, closes that gap down to half a second and closing. You can see he is just filling up the mirror here. Now forget half a second. It's about 1 car length. And he's just going to shoot to the outside here of Ziegler. Side by side, Joyner and Ziegler off of 4.
That's 6-lap old tires, 6-lap older tires, I should say, on the 57. As these two orange and black cars battle it out, Joyner is going to go get this spot right there. He is clear off the corner. New third-place driver, Ronnie Joyner.
He is absolutely cruising right now. He's now made his way to the bottom step of the podium, and he's got a lot of ground he's got to make up if he's going to get to the back bumper of Wilkin in these closing 20 laps. But right now, in decent position to get some good points from tonight. 20 laps to go here from Kentucky. Kevin West leads Wilkin by about 7/10 of a second. Who's about 2 seconds ahead of Ronnie Joyner back in third. And then it's Ziegler and Nelson, your top 5.
That's a pretty good idea. I think it's time for a through the field. QSR simulations through the field. I've already mentioned your top 2 are West and Wilkin. Ronnie Joyner is in third. Ziegler is fourth, as you mentioned. Caleb Nelson in fifth. Daniel Mulnix is running in the 6th position. Bradley Cooper worked up to 7th. Brent Allen traded in the Auburn colors for this gray and white scheme. He is 8th. Wunsch is 9th. Marshall Newton having a great run up from 24th. He is in position number 10.
Back in 11th here, you've got Mr. CEO Quentin Stewart, currently scored in 11th place after his spin. Good rally back there for the 24. The 13 is CJ Gates running 12th, just ahead of the 3 of Dirk Lakes, as well as the 8 of Austin Dowdy, not too far behind them. Back in 15th, it's Stephen McGough in the 26 machine. 16th there, Clay Nelson, who tried that alternate strategy earlier. Doesn't seem to be working out a ton for him at the moment. Derek McMurtry, 17th right now in that number 48 machine. And then you get back into 18th with Mike Petrin, who's had an up and down night, to say the least. Ethan Wisnowski, the first car, 1 lap down in 19th. And then you've got the 25 of Peter Hopp, who is up from where he started, but definitely looking to get a few more positions here tonight.
And then 5 down in 21st is Spencer Johnson, and the 29, you see him right there, that Kevin Harvick-esque scheme, the throwback. Terciano is the last car running, 10 laps down, just rolling off of pit road. And that is your through the field. Austin Thomas, Frank Walsh, and Vernon Markheim are out of this race.
As far as action on track here, we've got a pretty good scrap going on for 6th. Mulnix has got a mirror full right now of Bradley Cooper as they make their way off of 4. Closing in, you can see the 5 getting a little bit bigger on screen. This is the view off the back bumper of the 2. Mulnix drives it in pretty deep, but here comes the 5 off of turn 2. Pretty decent run, going to close up a bit of that distance. Curious to see at this stage in the run, tires are starting to go away. Does the 5 have the answer to get around Mulnix here, or will Cooper just have to try and use the chrome horn?
And these tires are only 1 lap different, so it's not like Cooper has a big tire advantage or disadvantage, or however you want to look at it. This has just been about how hard you drive throughout the run, and Cooper's trying to set him up. You can tell he's trying to go high to low, low to high, and just find a way around this too. And he's poking and prodding right now. He hasn't quite found it.
Yeah, he's still definitely got some time, about 15 laps to go in this one, but you don't want to be wasting too much time on the poking and prodding part of it. You want to make sure you dedicate some time to the passing part of it as well, and the 3 Ps of how to get around here in Kentucky: poking, prodding, and passing.
Put that on a T-shirt. That's a good one. It's a bumper sticker type phrase right there. But I'm really impressed by Marshall Newton. Up 14 spots. He is by far the biggest mover of this race. Running in 10th, right behind the pole sitter, Galen Wunsch, who just kind of got bit on strategy. Didn't quite work out for that 199 tonight. But yeah, this 76 this is his best run of the season, I would say, to this point.
He's had an impressive go to this point, and he seems primed to not only hold on to what he's got so far, but he could even add to it. He is really close to the back bumper of Wunsch here. He might be able to get around the 199 in the next lap or two. See the gap only a car length as they make their way through the corner. Can the 76 machine find something here to get up into P9?
He's on that same Bradley Cooper poke prod pass strategy, and he is trying to send it up the inside and get by this 199, but it's just not quite working. Can't roll the top the way he needs to. Is your
I just
a battle here. This is trying
that's
to pass a lap car.
lap traffic. Yeah, about to say, I'm like, oh, what interesting battle we haven't seen yet tonight. And then I realized that is Spencer Johnson, who is a couple laps down, trying to get around the 12 here of Wilkin. Also, I just had one more thought to add to our triple Ps so far tonight. If poking, prodding, and passing does not work, there's always the forbidden fourth option of punting.
Oh, yes. Very good. That's just Racecraft 101. Well done. We're making magic here in the V-Speed booth tonight.
About to say, someone let the brain cells out of their cage here tonight. They're firing on all cylinders, as is Ronnie Joyner, who's making some good time. He's closed in to within a second of Wilkin here. He might be able to get to his back bumper before the end of this one.
Yeah, Joyner has been rolling for sure. See what the gap looks like right now. 2.4 back from the leader. That's not the battle, though. It's that number on the top. 0.8-ish, 0.9-ish. And 12 got really close to the wall on the exit there. Just about caught a piece of it. That's going to help Joyner down the back. And the 12's blinking in and out. That's really going to help Joyner down the back, because that was 0.2 on one straightaway.
I don't know. The 12 seems like he's getting some really good runs off the corner, but it's taking a really shallow entrance into him. So you see this accordion by almost 2, maybe 0.3 of a second through the corner. So you see Joyner just close that gap significantly, and then it refans out. So after it's all said and done, the 00 is going to have some work to do to try and get to Wilkin here in the closing couple laps. We had a lot of cautions to start this race. We had about 3 or 4 in the opening 20-some laps, and it's been all green flags since. They've really got it sorted out after that lap 14 incident.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Mr. CEO. That is Quentin Stewart, obviously running this league. He does a really good job whipping these guys into shape when things don't go well, when you have those starts of the races where you get 3 cautions within 20 laps, and all of a sudden we've been green here for the last 65 of them, and we're less than 10 laps away from the finish. Kevin West still leads 1.6 seconds over Trenton Wilkin.
Yeah, and Trenton Wilkin really just hasn't had the speed that he's needed to try and make any ground up on the one. His bigger concern is going to be behind him, is just behind them. Once again, Cooper going at Molnick's, going to try and find his way around for 6th. The 2 and the 5. This battle's been ongoing, even if it was only in a passive sense for about the past 10 laps or so. But the 5 closed really close up that last time around. Molnick's through the block, and now Cooper back on the charge again. You got to imagine if you're the 5 here, you're getting a little bit frustrated behind the wheel. You know that you've got some speed to get right up to his back bumper, and then you kind of run out of options once you get there.
Well, these two had a little bit of history, not in the contact sense, but in this exact scenario sense. Just flip the roles. When we were at Kansas in week 2, Cooper was leading. I believe Molnick's had chased all the way up to 3rd behind Joyner. And those 2 of Joyner and Molnick's were stuck behind Cooper as Cooper's arrow blocked for most of that last run. Couldn't get around him, and that's exactly what Molnick's is doing to Cooper right now. Is just arrow blocking. Can't let the 5 get around him. And yeah, it's frustrating. But 5 to go.
All's fair in love, war, and mile-and-a-half Midwestern speedways. As we close in on the final couple laps, Joyner's closed in to within 0.4 of a second of Wilkin ahead. There could be something there as Cooper looking maybe to the outside of Molnick's. Nothing going that time by. As we close in the 4 to go, you can see the gap has shrunk to about 4 car lengths as Wilkin really has not gotten a ton of separation here from Joyner. The 00 within drafting distance on this back straightaway. Bit of wall contact for the 12 as well. That's really going to let Joyner close the gap.
That is not what you're looking for, is catching the wall. It's down to 1/4 second. Joyner is behind Wilkin with 4 to go off of turn 4.
Kevin West, I'll tell you, he's run a really, really crisp race here tonight. I mean, once he got into the extended green flag run, he hasn't looked back. He's been really, really steady up front. 2-second gap over Trenton Wilkin and Ronnie Joyner. As you see now, Bradley Cooper to the inside of Daniel Molnix, the 5, with an opportunity potentially to take away that 6th spot. He's been working at it for the better part of 15 laps. Can he get the run off of 4? No, he cannot. He falls back behind the 2 with 2 laps to go.
He's going to keep trying, but it might be too little too late. Might have been too many of the first 2 Ps, not enough of the last 2 Ps trying to get by that number 2 machine. But West is going to roll through to turn number 3 and go collect the white flag off of 4. He just needs another couple hundred feet, caution free, holding breath, exhaling. White flag comes out. Kevin West is 1.5 miles away from glory. QSR Simulations at Kentucky.
That he is. He'll roll his way off the corner. Trenton Wilkin going to try and hold off Ronnie Joyner as well, who's gotten within 2 car lengths, but only half a mile to go as here comes the 1 through 3 and 4.
And off of turn 4 for the final time. West is going to win in Kentucky.
Dominating effort. Led 60 of the 92 laps here tonight.
Now, when it's good, it's great for Kevin West. He went out here and used a little pit strategy to his advantage to get that advantage early in the race and just really never gave it up. I mean, he was always on the fresher tires, it seemed like, and obviously fast enough behind the wheel to be able to get out there and grow the lead and maintain it and do everything he had to do to go up there and win this race tonight. Started 3rd, and just a good run for the number 1 machine.
And he's going to burn it down here on the front straightaway. Nice big apron. Gives you a whole lot of room to rumble, in my opinion.
There is your winner.
Big burnout there for the 1. I mean, he earned it there tonight. Pretty solid effort from start to finish. 2nd row start. Took the lead about a 3rd of the way through. Never looked back.
We'll be back with the post-race show for QSR Simulations after a quick word from our sponsors.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack.
Swack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
We're back here live on V-Speed. Just concluded our race at Kentucky, race number 6 of the QSR Simulations Xfinity Series. Tuesday nights, obviously, because we're here right now, aren't we? Kevin West went out there, put on a dominating performance, and won this race. Did a good job, led over 60, or I think 60 exactly, of the 92 laps. Wilkin in the 12 ran a great race as well. He finished in second. Ronnie Joyner third, Ziegler in fourth, and Nelson, bit of a surprise, finished where he started in the fifth position. Malnick's able to withstand the charge of Bradley Cooper. Cooper ended up finishing in seventh, Malnick's in sixth. Wunsch, the pole sitter, falls back to position number 8. Just the strategy did not quite work out for him tonight. Allen in 9th, and Newton, great run, up 14 positions. He finished in the 10th spot. In 11th, CJ Gates finished 11th, started in 16th. Quinn Stewart, great rebound, started 13th, finished 12th after spinning all the way from the back up to mid-pack. Dirk Likes never really had the speed tonight, moved up 6 spots into 13th. Dowdy finishes 14th. Nelson, that's Clay Nelson, finishes 15th in the 10, up from 23rd. McMurtry is 16th. McGough, 17th. Petrin, 18th, 1 lap down. Hoppen Wisnowski, also 1 lap down. That is 19th and 20th. Finishing 21st tonight, Spencer Johnson in the 29. Terciano 10 down in 22nd. Thomas was 23rd, 30 laps down. Frank Walsh caught up in a number of accidents, finished in 24th, 74 down. And Markheim finished in 25th. After starting 8th, he did not make many laps before he had to retire that 33 machine. With that being said, we are going to go do some interviews. Don't quite have the entire top 3, but we do have the top 2. Start off with Trenton Wilkin in the 12. Trenton, it's Morgan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you had a great race tonight. Started 6th, quickly worked your way up to the top 3, and just kind of stayed there. You had a bit of a battle from, or a bit of pressure, I should say, from Joyner behind you. But how was this race from the seat of this 12 Camaro?
I think we had a lot of fire off speed, but we had like hit the wall early into like the first part of the race, and I think after we do that later in the run, it just started to build tight, build tight. I was hoping after the pit stop that maybe we can jump them, but we hit so much of a group of people that I think it just burned out my tires, and I had nothing else for them.
How was the tire wear tonight? Was it aggressive? Did you build loose, build tight? Could you manage it? What kind of how'd the 4 Goodyears feel?
So turn 1, 2, it just built a little tight. I mean, you just had to let off a little earlier, but it was fine. But turn 3 and 4, I had to keep on searching and searching for some speed, and I found like the third lane was like my good lane, and I saw Kevin was like the first lane, but it just 3 and 4 was so just chattering up the hill.
Right, it looked like it was difficult out there from a tire wear perspective as, you know, that last pit sequence, we had drivers within about 8 laps on tires, and they ran pretty consistent lap times, you being one of them, obviously, with each other until about 20 laps into the run. Then all of a sudden you saw drivers like yourself who pitted later just rocket up past everyone else into second place here. So were tires really the big key tonight, or was there anything else that you could have done differently to go get up there and get Kevin West?
Maybe 1 to 2 laps before him. That's possibly the only thing. I was hoping trying to catch him to pit early, but we ended up pitting at the same time. That's probably the only thing. Staying out late didn't really benefit because Joyner, he was right behind me. He stayed out a couple more laps, and it took him the whole run to get back up to me. And if he had like 3 more laps, he would have got me. But they just meant so much to tires.
Yeah, it was definitely a tire wear strategy kind of race here at the mile and a half in Kentucky, but you did well to capitalize on what you had, and anyone you want to thank for this second place run tonight.
It's team, the QSR, you guys for the great broadcasting. It's been a great season, and we're getting our groove in of speed. This is our second place, so I think we're going to be doing well for the season so far.
Right on, accumulating those playoff points, trying to get up there so you can pick one of those chase races. I imagine that's probably the goal, right, Trenton?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I have some strong tracks that I think I am possibly good at.
Well, good luck getting into that top 4. Should be a great run for the rest of the season, and that is your second place finisher tonight, Trenton Wilkin.
Thank you.
We are going to move up one spot on the podium to your winner, Kevin West. Kevin, it's Morgan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Loud and clear, guys.
Well, not much I can say besides just perfection. Started in third, quickly worked your way up to the lead after those 3 early cautions at the start of the race. Took tires, obviously, give you a bit of an advantage, and you never looked back once you got the lead. Were tires that important tonight? That was the main reason you won?
Yeah, I think so. This track's got an old abrasive surface on it, so man, it was just chewing the tires up. That's really the reason I was able to pull away is I was able to run as quickly as possible and still save. So yeah, we came in and got tires there. I think on lap 14, and ended up going green after that. So it kind of worked out for us. Some of those guys short pitted, and had to work my way through them. There was a couple of hairy moments, but man, we were fast tonight, man. I knew we would be. It took me a little bit to figure out the track. This is the first time I've ever ran here in anything other than a street stock. So we got it figured out pretty quick, and we just, I don't know, we stunk the show up, I guess.
Yeah, street stock on the 1.5 or street stock on the Legends course?
Mile and a half. It's
Oh,
actually a lot of fun.
that's spicy. That is definitely spicy. But anyway, that's not why we're here. No, obviously great run tonight, and you did a really fantastic job keeping this one car up at the front. And yeah, I had a train of thought, and then I asked about the 1.5 and I just completely lost it. So who do you want to shout out for stinking up the show, as you say?
I want to shout out all my mobile homies over on TikTok at Trailer Park Dude. That's my TikTok. If anyone wants to go check it out, I got a lot of iRacing content on there. We got about 5,000 viewers right now. Um, we're looking good, baby.
Yeah, that is impressive. That's a very strong TikTok following. Make sure to check out Kevin West and his channel, obviously. But right after you like and subscribe to V-Speed, I mean, you gotta plug V-Speed, right? And the V-Speed Victory Lane, V-Speed booth, all that fun stuff. But great job, Kevin, on this win tonight. And any parting words for the broadcast?
I appreciate you guys putting on a good show. You guys do a great job covering the race, and I don't know where we're racing next week, but
Bristol.
I'm okay. I'm calling my shot. I'm winning the race.
Oh, my Lantis. Kevin West winning at Bristol. Mark it down, pencil to paper, and let's see if that is accurate when we roll in to the, what's it called, Thunder Valley next week. But that is your winner tonight at Kentucky, Kevin West. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, boys.
All right, well, that will wrap up our post-race show. This was QSR Simulations live on V-Speed. Have a look ahead at the rest of the season. We are currently sitting on April 23rd. Kentucky just finished. Bristol next week, then Darlington, Indy, Homestead, Dega, Rockingham, Richmond, Dover, Auto Club, and then a bunch of question marks where we have the top 4 in points, choose the chase races. This should be a blast the rest of the way. We're just about halfway through the season. And looking forward to every minute of it here on V-Speed. But for everyone on the channel, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Alex Baker, Christian Hill, my color commentator tonight, Alex Gagnon, who has left the booth, I am Morgan Cook, wishing everyone a great evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We will catch you right here next week at Bristol. Night, everyone.